Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. In this video, I'm working on a Project Life spread from 2017, and this is week 38. So the year is definitely just plugging along. So as I get started, I just wanted to let you know this was actually a little bit harder of a week for me. And I don't mean it was hard in terms of like emotionally it was hard. It was hard putting it together, and I don't know why it was such a struggle for me this week, but for whatever reason, I struggled. So sometimes that happens, right? I know that again, another week in a row, I did not have a ton of photos. So, and partly I think it was because week 37, I was out of town. And the week before that, I spent a good portion of my week at a convention. And so I had a lot of work piled up that I had to get to. And so that week, this week that I'm working on right now, I felt like I was in front of my computer a lot, editing photos, just doing a ton of stuff like that. And so I didn't have a lot of time during the day that I was taking photos. And, you know, the lighting's changing a little bit. My kids are busy. And I just did not get a lot of photos taken this week. So the ones that I do have, I'm really happy with. You can see that I have the 7 4x6s and then the 2 3x3s. And there's definitely an ebb and flow each week. Sometimes I take more than others, but I think that had something to do with it just because most of the time I was, like I said, I was working a ton. And so, and it wasn't like I had a hard time coming up with my stories, but because of my work, I actually did not do a lot of journaling. I was really tired by the time I got to the end of the day, and I just did not spend time on my story journal. And so I didn't get anything really written up. Now, I am pretty consistent. Like I am totally up to date with my project life. So, this is week 38 and I worked on it during week 39. I try and do it the week after. But so it was pretty fresh is what I'm trying to say, but still you lose a little bit. You definitely get a lot more details when you're keeping a story journal, and you get a lot more that you can pick and choose from as well. And then also I feel like then you have this you feel like you don't have this need to tell every story because you have them written down in a journal and you can always go back and read them there. So anyway, was a very long introduction to why this week was a little bit of a struggle to put together. But at the end of it, I really enjoyed the way that it looked. So let me jump into the spread and let you know what's going on. So in this spread, I am working on, primarily I'm working with Studio Calico. I think it was the September kit. And I chose that card I think that was one of the first things I did that you saw, the title card that says Everyday Magic. And because it was such this bold pink, I decided that I wanted some other bold colors. So you can see that I have some cards with some bold blues and then some bold pinks. Also, in the kit was some letter stickers, and I hadn't used letter stickers for a while on my Project Life. I like to put them on photos now and again. And so I decided to do it again. And that was actually something that I really had to think a lot about because it's only one sheet of stickers. And I think there was 2 of each letter, and some of the vowels, maybe there were 3. And so I really had to think like, okay, what words can I spell and what do I want to say about each photo? So I knew that I was only going to be able to do maybe 2 to 4, depending on the words that I chose. So I definitely had a lot of fun trying to, it wasn't fun. It was really interesting trying to figure it out. You can probably see how I was in my mind trying to count. Okay, like after school has 2 O's, so I can't use anything else I think I had one other O to use. But I was really trying to figure out the best words to use there. So you can see that some of them I didn't go all the way. So that one says autumn decor. So I didn't go all the way to decoration. After school, I did get all of that. The next one I'm going to be working on was for weekend. And instead of doing the entire word weekend, I just did WK because I felt like, WKND, because I felt like, you would totally know what that meant, or at least that's something that I would know what that meant. Then in this kit, there were these vellum stickers, and I always have a hard time knowing how to use these. This isn't necessarily a product that I, gravitate towards or use a ton, but I thought it might be another little embellishment that I could add, just something that I could add a little bit more color to the spread. So I'm thinking about that, and you see me do that a lot, actually. I pull things over, set them down, hold them up, see if I like it, and then move on to something else. I need to think about whether or not that's something that I want to do. Knowing those vellum stickers or anything really that you put down on the photos, once it's on the photo, it's really hard actually to get it back up. So I'm looking at some more embellishments to possibly add to this spread. And that chipboard set actually came from Allie Edwards. I believe it was a summer chipboard set that she had. So I still have a bunch of those left over. And I was looking for some of those sentiments. A lot of what you're seeing here is, and one of the reasons why I chose that Everyday Magic is because most of the photos really just are about like really ordinary everyday things, which is, I think, a lot of what my Project Life spread really is anyway. But specifically this time, I felt like it was a lot of stuff like in the house and just stuff that we're doing together as a family, but not necessarily like activities and stuff that we're going out and doing. So I think this was just a really basic week where we worked, we went to school, we came home, got homework done. And I think that is a reflection of the photos that I took. Of course, always really grateful for those times that we get to spend together, because when you have teenagers, I don't know if it's just my family or if you'd feel the same, they are super busy with what they're doing and then they're busy with their friends. So being able to have time with them. In fact, I think it was this week, we had like a Saturday night together. It was really awesome. That could have been the next week. Maybe I'm like confusing them, but it's really awesome when that happens. And of course it's getting colder. And so it's fun just being able to like be home and be cozy and watch movies and all that good stuff. All right, so you can see that I've added a few of those dots, the vellum circles. So they have, some of them had words like magic or today. And then I haven't put it down yet, but I ended up putting a gray one down that you actually can't really even see it. I wish I had put it on white cardstock and then stuck it on, but I don't try and pull it up because I would have wrecked the picture. I just let it go. So I'm doing a little bit of journaling here. So a lot of what I did journal about was kind of like everyday stuff. I think in that one that was about this moment, I talked about our weekend. And I think I did talk about how it was just more of a low-key weekend that we got to spend together as a family. So I'm just looking at adding a few more of those dots in places just to add a little bit of interest. You can see there I added that gray circle that you can kind of see in person, but it really is hard to show up. You can see that there's something there, but you definitely can't see the words that are on there. And then I also put down that another black circle as well. And then I'm just doing a little bit more journaling onto the spread. Definitely I love the chance to be able to tell as many stories as I can. And because I have less photos, it led to the opportunity to tell some more. Although you can see that I actually did add a bit more filler cards or design cards. I have a little bit more of that going on as well. So one thing that I did fail to mention because I was talking so much in the beginning is that big circle wood veneer that has the quote on it. That actually came from an Allie Edwards, her time kit. And I really wanted to use it for week 37, that I used that spread for her classroom, but I wasn't able to fit it in. So I was excited to be able to use it on this spread because I felt like it just really fit with this week a lot. And it was too big. It was more than 3 inches just by a hair. or just barely. And so what I ended up doing, you saw that I measured it out and then I just cut it. And I was kind of afraid to cut it. I thought maybe I would ruin the wood, and I liked that piece so much that I didn't want to ruin it. But it actually cut really well, especially with those Tim Holtz scissors that are designed to cut through a lot of different kinds of products. So if you have those scissors, those are great for that. And don't be afraid to cut into the wood. It's thin enough that it doesn't rip or doesn't tear. All right, so I'm just wanting to add a little bit more embellishments, just a little something. I felt like those vellum stickers needed a little bit something. So I'm going through my stash, and I'm really wanting to, one of the things that I'm really looking at is, because I have that big wood veneer piece, I kind of wanted a little bit more wood in this spread. So you can see that I pulled out a little banner, and I think I end up putting that back. I definitely end up using one of them. And I'm, instead of doing the black stars, I'm maybe looking at using the wood stars, but I only had like one wood star. And so then I'm looking at, I think I go to maybe like some wood hearts, thinking that I would really like that. I felt like those hearts were just a little too dimensional, which is kind of a silly thing, but I don't know. What I really wanted was the stars. And I actually did like the black. I thought the black really popped. So I decided to let go of the hearts and not worry about adding more wood to the spread. And I do eventually go back to the black stars. Now those black stars actually came from, I have a die, I think it's a Christmas die, that came from Ellen Hudson. And those actually were the negative space. And so I just ended up putting them in that container, I think last December, knowing that at some point I would use them. And sure enough, here I am using them, right? So definitely keep those scraps if you think you might use them. And I love being able just to have a bin to throw everything into, those little bits and pieces that, you've used. Let's say you've used like the majority of them in the pack and there's only a couple left. Instead of keeping them in the pack, it just makes sense to kind of throw them in the bin. And then whenever you're looking for a tiny embellishment, then it'll, you'll be able to find it and you'll see it. So I like having that. And then I'm just gluing everything down and thinking about maybe adding a little something to that banner that says, the banner that says cheers. And I think I do maybe add, I thought I did maybe add like a star to that. And I really liked the black, like I said, that it popped. I think that added a little something. So when it came to the chipboards or adding also that geotag, I just decided not to. For some reason, I was feeling like this is looking busy enough with the letter stickers, the vellum, and then the stars. I just felt like I didn't want to add one more thing to the photo, so I just left those blank. And then I thought it would be fun to just add one more black star right into the middle. So you can see it's just a little black star there. All right, you guys, so I am calling it done for this spread. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you guys were able to get some inspiration from this layout. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. All right, you guys, we will see you next week. Bye.